Imagine you're an e-commerce site and you put something into your shopping cart. And then you decide, oh, you know what? No thanks. I want to click no thanks. I don't want to buy this now, or I don't want to buy it at all. But because the stability, because the page shifts, you may have actually inadvertently purchased something. That's a horrible user experience. And Google does not want people to click and buy things that they don't necessarily want to buy or buy at that time. Your site must be optimized for mobile indexing first. And in particularly your realm, most people are doing purchases on their phones. It used to be that Google would measure desktop, but now they realize the vast majority of people are doing things on their phones. And so your site must be optimized for what's known as mobile first. The visual stability of your page is crucial. We'll get to that in a second because it does really affect commerce quite a lot. Page speed is important. Don't disrupt your content with annoying pop-ups. One is good for people to get a discount, but doing it a lot, that's a bad user experience and you will get penalized for it. And also, probably not as applicable to you, but don't crowd it with like lots and lots of ads. And also make sure that your site is secure with HTTPS. I think everyone probably at this point is that, but if it isn't, time to change. So when I say your site must be optimized for mobile first indexing, Google measures people these days with their mobile site. And that's because everyone's interacting with it. I don't know, maybe you do some purchases on your desktop, but most people are now doing it. So it needs to be mobile friendly and it should have, I would say, the exact same content and functionality as your desktop. Also, visual stability is important. So what happens? Okay, visual stability. You're scrolling, you're using your thumb or whatever other finger you use to scroll, right? And the page shifts. You've seen that. It shifts, it's shaky, it jumps around. I actually remember being at Google's headquarters in Mountain View. And I said, who cares? I read stories, it shifts, it does make a difference, right? And they said, no, this is super important. And I said, why? I'm still scrolling. I can still see what I want. They said, okay, that's nice. Imagine you're an e-commerce site and you put something into your shopping cart. And then you decide, oh, you know what? No thanks. I want to click no thanks. I don't want to buy this now, or I don't want to buy it at all. But because the stability, because the page shifts, you may have actually inadvertently purchased something. That's a horrible user experience. And Google does not want people to click and buy things that they don't necessarily want to buy or buy at that time.
Hey, if you're enjoying this content, you're going to love the masterclasses that we host on a regular basis. We've got over 1,000 members in our private community, and over 400 of them are already doing over $1 million. We regularly host masterclasses with hundreds of students, and you can find out more below. Join us.
Another ranking factor that's part of Google's what they call Core Web Vitals is a fairly lightly weighted ranking factor, but it's been important for some time, is page speed. And then page speed is how long it takes your web page to load. By and large, most pages load fairly at a decent time. And if you're using a good CMS like WordPress or Wix or Shopify, you probably don't have to worry about it. But if you put some really, really heavy images on, that could make the page speed load very slowly. It's a bad user experience, and in turn, it gets penalized by Google. So as long as you're within a decent range, you don't have to worry about it. But if your site loads really, really slowly, that's a problem. Like I said, you don't want to disrupt it with annoying pop-ups or offers, bad user experience. I assure you, far fewer people will take that 5% you're offering if you're bombarding them with constant pop-ups. Another one is, like a lot of people do, a lot of ads, and it's very hard to find the content, right? Don't do that. You'll get penalized for it. And that, believe it or not, that is an actual page I found. They thought they could monetize it by putting as many ads as possible. If it were that simple, everyone would be doing it. But what happens is you put too many ads, it not only is a horrible user experience, it actually also slows up your page. So I sometimes hear people saying, oh, my competitors do lots of pop-ups, do lots of ads, they get away with it. 2 points need to be made about that. Yeah, maybe the competitor has actually so many incredible positive points in ranking factors that this one doesn't affect them, but more likely the chances they haven't gotten caught up yet in Google's net, and they will eventually. And then when Google does see that horrible user experience, they will ding them and ding them hard during the next core update. Last thing, secure your site with HTTPS encryption as opposed to plain HTTP. Google has noted in the past security is a top priority. I think with the introduction of AI that can dupe people constantly, security should always be top of mind. Very simple to do. They highly suggest you have HTTPS. Everyone wants a safer internet.